I've got a brand new watch here, but the main thing I'm excited about is this bracelet. It is near enough to perfection that I think we could ever expect to get to. Omega and Grand Seiko really need to pay attention. This is how you make a bracelet. Welcome back to Bark and Jack. I'm Adrian. I just drink coffee, talk watches, and today we're checking out a brand new IWC Big Pilot watch. This thing is big, as the name suggests, but it's nowhere near as big as the previous massive Pilot's watch. This is huge. IWC has a solid history of creating Pilot's watches, the first being developed back in 1936. This was the IW436. It had shatterproof glass, the case was anti-magnetic, and the movement could operate down to minus 40 degrees C and up to plus 40 degrees C as well. This was needed because the cockpits back then were unheated, and therefore you had these massive fluctuations in temperature. The first Big Pilot's watch was launched in 1940. The watch was built around a pocket watch movement with the idea of having a large high contrast dial that was highly legible in all conditions. It also had a large crown so the pilots could easily operate the watch while wearing flying gloves. The previous Big Pilot was a beast at 46mm wide. The new Big Pilot is smaller at 43mm. It also has a more simple dial, but the 46mm, although it looks awesome, was completely unwearable on my 17.5cm wrists. The 43mm is far more doable, although it is still quite large. The movement in this is the IWC caliber 82100, and it beats at a frequency of 28,800 vibrations an hour, or 4 Hertz. It also has 22 joules, 60 hours, an impressive 60 hours of power reserve, and it has a bi-directional automatic winding system inside. That just happens to be made out of zirconium oxide. The movement looks awesome. It's really nicely finished, and I love all the different textures, all the different finishes that are going on here, but I especially like the fact that the plates have been skeletonized, which gives a real depth to this movement. Now let's talk about the bracelet, because for me, the movement's gorgeous. You've seen the movement, it's a great looking movement, but we've all seen great looking movements. What we haven't seen is great bracelets. This bracelet honestly is near enough perfect. And the nice thing about this bracelet is we don't often get to see watch companies caring about the customer or doing things that truly benefit the customer. But everything about this bracelet, I feel, is for the customer. You have a solid milled stainless steel clasp, and the buttons are nice and subtle. They're not overly big, and they don't stand out as just an eyesore. On the fly bracelet extension, by just pressing down the IWC logo and then just moving the bracelet in and out. The next cool thing about this bracelet is how you resize it. Each link, and I mean every single link on this thing, have these very cool, very smooth buttons. You just press this button down and that releases that link, which is amazing. The fact that they've engineered that into a link for an item, a function, a feature that you're going to use once or twice in your lifetime with this watch, I think that is brilliant. The function that you're going to use more often though is this quick release function. You don't need to scratch your watch up to change the bracelet. You just have this quick release function. The amount of engineering going into this bracelet is just, and it even tapers. It's a subtle taper. It's a good 2mm taper. This isn't a sponsored video, by the way. This is just me getting excited about a product that I think is really very good. The watch itself is lovely. I really like the watch, but I've got hands-on with a lot of bracelets and very, very few do I like, let alone think are great. One of the coolest things about this watch, despite the size, it actually slides into the Bark and Jack watch roll that we sell over at barkandjack.shop. The main leather is calfskin leather. But guys, I want to hear your thoughts. What are your thoughts on this new IWC watch? Although the 43mm size of the thing will still be a barrier preventing me from getting it, because it is a chunky beast. Regardless to that, it absolutely, and I don't know which dial I would get. I think that the black dial has more of a military look about it, more of a purposeful look about it, but then blue dial does look amazing. And I think the blue dial suits the bracelet more. I think that's a very solid package. But regardless, this thing is absolutely stunning. And then it has this kick-ass movement, which is anti-magnetic and has 60 hours of power reserve. Add to that the kick-ass bracelet, and I think this makes for a kick-ass package. It's a big chunk. It is a chunky watch. There's something about Pilot's watches which I think are really, amazing. Anyway guys, drop me a comment in the section down below. Let me know your thoughts on this watch. If you want to check out our watch straps and watch accessories, jump over to barkandjack.com. And if you're on Clubhouse, give me a follow at Barker and join the club. B&J Coffee and Watches. If you're on Instagram, give me a follow at barkandjack, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.